guys, Carbon again from guitarlessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at the actual verse, chorus, and bridge chords for Let Her Go by Passengers. It's pretty simple stuff. Now this, when you're actually listening to this part, there's a capo guitar part where he's basically strumming the equivalent of those chords up high. And then there's another acoustic guitar that has no capo on it, that is just strumming the chords down in the open string area. That guitar on the recording is louder, it's more dominant. So that's what we're going to focus on, is the bigger sounding chords. They're both the same chord types, at least. It's just one's a lower pitched than the other. But you have plenty of time to take the capo off. At the very end of that capo part, he just holds the chord, and you can just throw the capo off and put it on the floor and start strumming. All right, so let's start with this. It's going to start with just an E minor chord. That's going to go to a C major, but before you play the whole C major chord, keep your second finger up. And then when you strum, hammer on the second fret on the D string. So now it's a complete C chord. So as he strums that, then he releases the second finger again. He does that a lot when he's doing the C major chord. Alright, so we have this. Then go to a simple D major chord. Then to a B minor bar. Now that bar is at the second fret across 5 strings, and then have your third finger at the 4th fret on the D. Pinky is playing the 4th fret on the G string, and your second finger has the 3rd fret on the B string. Alright, so all together those 4 chords. Alright, then you come back to the E minor, back to C, and that same little hammer on pull off thing. You don't really pull off, you just let off and just keep picking it, strumming the chord. Then when it makes it to the D this time, it holds on the D. So basically all I'm doing there is I strum it a little bit, then I put my pinky down to the 3rd fret on the high E string, and then bring it back down to the normal D chord. So all together. So if you're really new to the guitar and that bar chord is really throwing you, I have some lessons at Guitar Lessons 365 in the lessons archive. Just look at the beginner section. There's lessons on bar chords and how to play them and ways to practice them. All right, then we get to the chorus, which sounds like this. Alright, so once again, it starts with a C this time. The chorus is basically C, G, D, and E minor. So, same thing we're going to do the C major chord to start it. With that little hammer on, and then release the note after you hammer it on. Then we'll go to just a G chord. Now, this is really one of those big open Gs where you just basically need your 3rd finger here at the 3rd fret on the 6th, pinky at the 3rd fret on the high E string. What you're going to want to try to do, though, is let the bottom of your 3rd finger mute the A string. So don't arc your finger too much. Kind of let it lay down a little bit. It's not holding the A string, but it's just muting that 5th string so it can't vibrate anymore. And then put that pinky down. Because that note doesn't belong in the chord, so you don't want it in it. It'll kind of sound like, doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound right for this song. Then we get to the D, and then the E minor. Now he does some of that E minor too, where he kind of just lets off that D string to the open string a lot. So it's kind of hard to hear in the recording, but it is there. So just kind of do it freely, however you want to do it. Back to the C, the G, and once again, it's going to hold that D and do that same thing that we ended the verse with. All right, so that's the whole chorus. Verse is a little different, same chords, but a little different order, and the third, basically you play these chord sequences 4 times for the bridge, and the third time is a little different. So pay attention to that here. So basically we're going to have the E minor. You can release it down to that open D, to a C, to a D. So then we go to the C major, same little hammer-on thing, then to the D. Back to E minor, C, to the D. Now the third time through, back to the E minor and C and D. This time you just play the D half as long, then to the same B minor. So it's just like the whole verse progression. Then the fourth time through, back to the same E minor, C, to the D with that little ending. And that takes us back to the chorus again. All right, so all together just for that bridge real quick. You do that little D figure. Every single time you hit that D in the chorus, except for the third time through it, in the whole bridge. If you want to do that, whenever he's just holding on to that D, you can just have a little, give it some nice activity and stuff. So then you're going to get to the outro, which is very simple. It's just the notes of the chorus, just strummed one at a time. And that last one, don't strum all the way to the high E string with when you hold that D. On most of these, just kind of keep it around the second string is where you stop. Keep the chords more mellow. None of this really high notes in it. All right, and then that pretty much covers all the parts. It's just a little vocal line he does at the end with no guitars at all, so that's pretty easy to play. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you again for another song from guitarlessons365.com.